Hello, hello. I'm Marlon Weems, publisher of the Journeyman newsletter on Substack, and I am here with my good friend and colleague.
Arturo Dominguez,
All right, all
publisher of the
right.
Decolonized Journalism newsletter, resident troublemaker.
Wait a minute. I thought that was, wait a minute. I don't have to look at my business cards now. I thought that was my title. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, this, my whole week has been screwed up because yesterday I actually thought it was Friday for a minute. And I think it's like my body, like mentally,
Yeah.
my, psyche is just trying to get this shit over with and get it on the road because it has been a doozy of a week.
It was the same for me because we had a 4-day weekend with the grandkids, and it was like when they were finally gone, I was confused as to what day it was, what's going, you know what I mean? I was exhausted too, man. It was crazy. But yeah, it was a long weekend. It was fun.
Well, if only we'd had just some things that we could talk about, this would probably go a lot quicker, I think. Huh?
Man, for a minute, Trump really had me worried. But yeah,
I told Egberto this yesterday, and this is just kind of, traitor think or whatever you want to call it. But I told Shannon, I don't know, it was 6:30 or something, and everybody on the news is like, oh my God, are we gonna? I was like, ain't no way we're gonna drop anything on the Middle East when the vice president is in Hungary.
Well, that was a good point.
Just think about it. So Trump was looking for a way to get he was looking for a way to get out of this. And
yeah,
think about it, man. When was the last time you heard of somebody, coming up with some, we're talking about a multi-nation agreement to do a ceasefire, and did nobody write shit down? I mean, come on. These guys, they're
on
just
that note.
Yeah, on that note, let's kick this show off, and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome to a show with no name. Man, I never get tired of that.
Right. I look forward to it every time.
I know it's so
it's really good.
We're so easily, it doesn't take much, in this environment.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's see, blow up civilization or
cool
watch a cool intro. Which one do you want to do?
Oh man, no.
It's sad, man, but that's where we are. That's where we are. And I'm sorry, man. Just take it.
I was gonna say to pick up where we kind of left off, man. I posted something the other day because, I couldn't help but think about all the duck and cover drills we did at school, right? So,
we thought we were never gonna need that shit,
right? But as kids, most Gen Xers had to deal with that. I think some of us in the later years didn't, but I'm not exactly sure when they stopped doing it, but it seems so ridiculous now. And they had us traumatized, man. We thought
you guys were hiding or going through a procedure for what? A shooter, right?
No, for us it was the nuclear thing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's Gen how X, I came up. I was even they had like a little title they give you, like I was a junior deputy sheriff or something. Something you have like a little thing you wear goes across the chest and a little belt, and I mean,
that's funny.
And so it was like, I guess if they said the bomb was getting ready to drop, I'm supposed to be like helping move kids. Dude, I would have been running. I'd have been out.
Yeah. Right.
They told us, get under your desk, put your head between your legs, and maybe the radioactivity won't be too bad.
Right. And they always tell you, you had to know where the fallout shelters were. We lived in the inner city,
Right,
so it was always like that. But yeah, Trump, I mean, he really had me wondering if, like, are we there? Is this that day they warned us about? I can't even tell you
No.
who they were at the time, but the government or whoever it was that made us do that. But yeah, like, were they right? Like, and it made me realize, because now we have the tactical nukes, right? They're not big,
That they could theoretically drop one and it just would only
Right.
kill a couple of 100,000 people.
Yeah, it's small,
acceptable numbers.
right? So yeah, I don't know. The way they're talking about it so loosely these last few weeks, and then Trump talking about annihilating a whole civilization, that kind of stuff starts to wear on you a little bit.
A little bit. I know.
Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it?
I was starting to get pretty freaking mad about it.
I mean, just how the the potentiality of, like, worldwide devastation, it kind of messes your day up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, and
that he threw it out there, just wrote it down, just,
and
you know what, y'all don't do what I want, I will get rid of your whole civilization.
Yeah, and my wife asked me, because we talk about how Iran doesn't have, like, nuclear capability to strike us back and things like that, but she was like, on a geopolitical sense, she asked me, like, what would happen, right, geopolitically, and if we did something like that, and I just kept thinking,
Iran, China might
we'd be Cuba tomorrow. We'd be Cuba tomorrow. We'd be sanctioned to the hilt.
Oh yeah. That's, I mean,
China would cut us off. You know what I mean? Like, we'd be toast.
We're about to be toast now.
That's what I hear.
You tell me, go find. Okay, you got JD Vance all over in Hungary trying to save Orban, because apparently he's. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to jinx it. I hope he loses the election. But
it's
just
not
think
looking
about that.
Good. I'll say that. Yeah, it's not. I've been watching.
But what in the hell is the Vice President of the United States doing? Going, what's so crazy about it to me? It's not like this, like Hungary. Hungary is one of the poorest nations in the EU. They're not the poorest, but then they're not in the top tier. But that's all these guys do, is go around bottom feeding, finding people. Look, I mean, that's basically what MAGA is.
Right. I mean, you look at the leaders that have been rolling over for Trump in Latin America, and that's Orban. I mean, it's the same characteristic, where they just willingly give in to Trump, and Trump willingly tries to help them stay in power, like he did in Latin America. And last year, he meddled in like 5 different elections. So, what they're doing is election meddling, technically.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, in the United States,
rules. America makes a whole bunch of rules, but we don't feel like we have.
We don't have laws. Right. We don't have a law against that. I've been looking this up forever, and there's no specific law that bars a president or anyone from,
meddling
in an election. And I think, one of the first mentions of an election, a president meddling in an election, was, a lot of people mention Obama with Brexit. And okay, that's one thing, but like what we watched Trump do last year in Latin America was just beyond. Dude. It was beyond.
Hang on a second, though. Hang on. So people are using Obama and like Obama did something with Brexit, and that was
commented on it, right? He commented.
He just said something, dude.
Right, against
Trump.
It, right.
Trump went over there,
right,
acting like he was going to see his golf course and shit.
I'm talking about, like, when they talk about election meddling, that thing with Obama comes up, and I always laugh because it's so.
He just said something.
Right.
Okay.
He thought it was a bad idea. I thought it was a bad idea too.
That ship is so far out the harbor, dude. I mean,
so that's what this is. This is election meddling. It's interference in a country's internal politics. All of those, violations of international law, Charter 2 of the UN doctrine, or whatever it's called. I can't even remember what it's called anymore.
Like I said, America,
they don't care.
I think, 50 years, 20 years, however long it is, if the world survives this asshole, we're going to look back, and he is the guy that took the veil off, of what everybody thought America was, and black folks and, everybody but white folks, but telling these people
Yeah.
that ain't America.
And
And
he's doing it
now,
unintentionally. It's not like he's the
no.
benevolent
Well,
guy who's exposing things, right?
he didn't do it on purpose. He's just not
Right,
a smart guy.
right.
Okay. And I've said this before, man. When I went to work in the business that I was in, both in Arkansas but especially in New York, because there's so many wealthy people and guys you work with, tend to be doing well. It has nothing to do with intelligence, nothing
Right,
whatsoever. I
right.
mean, I worked with a lot of guys that knew they knew their craft. I'm not even sure. I mean, Trump isn't even a good real estate guy, right? And everybody says he's a good deal maker. Well, to that, I give you the nation of Iran
Yeah,
because, dude,
dude. Oh
oh
my
my
god.
gosh. First of all, I, man, talk about a surprise. I, when I woke up and saw that we had attacked this country, you just are like, wow, what's going on? I did not expect, first of all, their Lego game is second to none.
Oh man.
Whoo,
They
man,
they
these
they beat us
Lego
on.
videos they are
Yeah.
putting out are just scorching.
Yeah, they got the propaganda game
Mm.
won a long time ago. They won that.
I I mean, and dudes can rap pretty good too.
I'm telling you.
I was like,
AI or
wow,
not,
okay,
somebody
okay.
wrote it.
Somebody, I don't know who's doing it, but you got to respect the game, man. I was talking to a good friend, a guy that I used to work with on the trading desk, and he's ex-military, and his dad was, you know, 82nd Airborne kind of thing.
Mm,
I mean, so no joke. And this guy, it's a just as an ex-military guy, he's like, I love my country, but right now I'm embarrassed.
yeah.
He said, I'm just really embarrassed by what America's doing. And the other part, he's still connected with people that are active. So I kind of, on background, I would never like quote this guy, but some of the stuff, uh, he seems to think that Iran might have gotten a hold of a couple of our guys, and that's why Trump lost his mind. And
You
that
know,
is what caused Trump. I mean, what? Why would Trump have accepted such a silly deal? And like I
yeah.
said, where did anybody like, I don't know, get a notebook out and just jot down what was
You know,
discussed or something?
I saw Pakistan, which was the mediator in this, who
Mhm.
helped put this deal together, was at the UN,
Mhm.
and one of their chief complaint was that Lebanon, ending the
Right.
bombing of Lebanon and Israel stopping bombing things was part of the deal, and Israel never stopped, and they were outraged by this, and because they basically ignored the agreement, and it seems to me that Iran's version of the deal is the legitimate one where they were going to be allowed to enrich uranium, and I'm like, when you look at the deal, it's everything the JCPOA under Obama wasn't.
Yeah.
JCPOA limited the uranium enrichment, limited a lot
Mhm.
of things. This, I mean,
No, well, you know what?
they gave everything. They gave up everything.
You know what, man? I feel like what you have to do when you negotiate, and I'm not, it's not my profession, but you have to be able to look at it from the other side, whoever the person is on the other side of the table. And if I were on that side, hey, I'm American. I ain't trying to go live in Iraq, or Iran rather. But okay, let's just walk through it. I don't know what the evidence was that Netanyahu presented, but Marco Rubio said it was bullshit. Even JD Vance said this isn't going to work, but if you go ahead, I'm going to back you. I'm your vice president. If you do it, I'll be behind you. So let's just say there wasn't really anything other than Israel just pulling one over on Trump, which apparently is easy to do. All right. So you're Iran, and the next thing you know, America and Israel are both bombing the shit out of you. And to me, the key is all Iran had to do was just survive, which they have done. Yeah, they lost some top tier people, but they got succession, they got new guys, and the new guys are worse than the old guys. So look at Iran now. Iran is saying, I heard this a couple of hours ago. They want reparations. They want y'all to come over here and bombed our capital.
I mean,
killed hundreds of people, maybe thousands.
Thousands at this point.
Yeah. What is our argument for not paying for it? I mean, we broke it, right? Okay, so there's that. Apparently, Iran had a whole bunch of military shit we did not know they had. We did not know that they had this. I guess I forget the terminology, because this guy I mentioned earlier, he's just throwing stuff out at me, and I'm like, wait, whoa, what's that? But apparently they've got the ability, like dual launch capability, where they can like shoot 2 rockets at the same time or something like that. We didn't know they could do that. These hypersonic missile, we didn't know they had. We did not know Iran could reach out and touch our ass like they have done on these bases, where they blew up a $300 million plane that was just sitting there because we didn't think they could reach it.
Right. And, geopolitically, people have been saying that the U.S. government is underestimating Iran's military capability. And if the geopolitical community has been saying this, surely there's intelligence out there saying this too.
Well, now, wait a minute, hold up, time. We don't listen to those guys, those stupid experts.
Most people in the geopolitics game knew that you start bombing Iran and you're poking a hornet's nest. And
we don't even know where all their rockets are.
That's what's funny.
We don't know where they are. They're in the desert somewhere.
We carpet bombed a mountain region where they had launchers, where they were launching ballistic missiles. And the next day, the ballistic missiles were still coming from that region. Like, we carpet bombed an entire mountain and didn't impact their launch capability at all. So yeah, and everybody underestimated Iran, and some of their tech is relatively simple. I saw a video of a ballistic missile that all it did was drop tons of flares over a city, setting off all the air defense systems, making way for the real ballistic missiles that are coming in any minute. And I was just like, how simple was that? I couldn't, they overwhelmed, these missile defense systems just easily with drones and these flares and all this, basically junk. And then in comes the ballistic missiles doing the damage. And I don't know how much simpler you can beat smart tech. I mean, you just bring it back to the basics. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. And they did it with, a tremendous capability. Yeah. Because they fired they showed that they have the power to fire missiles in every direction at once if they need to, and they can do it continuously. And that's, I think, the biggest surprise for even people who knew that we were underestimating Iran. They just came out hard and fast, and the whole time they're cracking jokes on the internet, trolling us.
It's really pretty. Man, you see these, the videos and pictures of, Khamenei or whatever the guy, the supreme leader and these are all the pictures I've ever seen. These guys are looking real mean and scary, but apparently they got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Because some of this stuff, man, it's just really next level.
Yeah, the Lego videos are really something else. But yeah, in the propaganda game, man, they got us beat. And I honestly think the propaganda game, the way they beat us in the propaganda game, is a reflection of how they're beating us, right? Because
dude, they've got our number. They have
right. So
got
here's the thing.
America's number.
So here's the thing. Like when it comes to war, I always say it's not the death toll that declares the winner, right? It's the court of public opinion. So Israel, for example, I have been arguing, lost the war that they're in right now and all the wars that they're starting like less than a year after October 7th. That
because they didn't just stop. They went
right.
And they have a history of doing that. They always
right.
go too far.
Iran is winning in the court of public opinion in the same way that Israel is losing. And they're winning, even though a lot of people like me, I oppose theocracies, right?
Right.
Technically, Iran is a theocracy, but not to sound like an asshole, but Iran has a right to defend itself.
Well, Iran has, everybody's always asking if this certain country has a right to exist. Does Iran not have? I mean, well, first of all, to me, that's a silly question. Because no, like, country just in and of itself. Did America have a right to exist?
Does it still?
Did we have the right to just come on over here and plant a flag and say this is our shit, and then just kill off everybody else that was already here?
Right.
I mean,
of course not. Right. I mean,
you know,
there's a reason why international law says that an occupying force does not have a right to defend itself. You are the offender. You are the occupier. The person attacking you is defending themselves. So how are you going to defend? You know what I mean? So international law is pretty explicit.
That's where you got to remember, manifest.
But nobody cares, right?
You know,
international, it's selective, right? If you're Cuba or South Africa, then it applies. But if you're the people committing apartheid and starving a whole island of people, then it doesn't apply, right? Yeah, man, it's ridiculous.
It is something else to me, how the media is just so ill-equipped to deal with this stuff, right?
I mean, think some of it's intentional.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna play this because and it's like, I don't know, 10 seconds, but to me, it just like puts a bow on what's wrong with legacy media, why people are just fleeing this shit. And this is on CNBC, dude. Okay, check it out.
Trump has has threatened to destroy a civilization. How does an investor process that? Is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk?
Excuse me?
You heard it. That was the day.
Is this good for money or bad for money?
Yeah. She's like, how does an investor deal with Armageddon? What should I be putting my money in? If the world's getting ready to come to an end. I don't know. That is a, Ivy League, CNBC. Her name's Sarah Eisen. I've watched her for years. And I saw that and I was like, girl, if you don't get some reality going on here, what is wrong with you? Right. I mean, but they're so soaked in their own sauce, man. They're just so we can't get excited about the president saying he's going to blow some country off the face of the earth. We got to look at it from the investment point of view.
Yeah. And it's weird, that people are turning the media off because of things like that. And, honestly, the last couple of years, ever since October 7th, has been a disaster for legacy media in the United States. And it still is, because they're glossing over what Israel is doing. And obviously at this point, it's intentional. They're glossing over what we're doing to Cuba. Everybody sees that. They're glossing over a lot of things related to Iran. Everybody sees that too. So yeah, people are tuning out, really fast, and it's just snowballing. So, the ratings have been dropping for years, but it feels like this year and last year, it's been really starting to snowball. And, with this, for us in Texas, the way the last, Senate primary went, a lot of people were pretty pissed about that on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. Like it's just, It's the tone deafness. So I've
Right.
been seeing segments of these people arguing about why, you know, Democrats shouldn't be listening to Hassan Piker, and I'm like, dude,
You
just
know
shut
what, man?
up.
You're gonna okay. I've been wanting to talk about this, and I don't know a lot about this guy. I just know
Right.
that there's this controversy. So can you kind of, I'm assuming I'm not the only person. So who
Well,
is
you
this
know,
guy? I hear he's an asshole, but oh well, there's a lot of
he
assholes around. So
he pretty much is, you know, but he's a smart asshole. He's progressive. He's one of them edgy dudes, right?
mhm.
But it's okay. So,
Is
like,
he
to
like the
me,
progressive Joe Rogan?
you know, I wouldn't go that far because he's not
I'm being
stupid.
facetious,
Because
man.
he's not stupid. He is in a sense, but he's not stupid.
Okay,
So
that's a plus.
I give him that, right? But I think like my problem with Piker and a lot of progressives, and this is an issue I have with, and I'm not like, again, I always tell people I'm not a communist, but I talk to a lot of communists, and I enjoy having conversations with communists because they're reasonable people who are willing to have this conversation and go deep into things. But with a lot of communists and progressives and things like that,
Mhm.
that are believers in the class war, right? Because obviously there's class war, but a lot of them believe, and Castro did too, for a long time, that once you eliminate this class war, this class struggle, and you know all this indifference over class, that eventually racism stuff will just level out on its own.
Hmm.
Well, you know, in the 80s, Castro admitted he was wrong. In 2000, he made a big speech in Harlem admitting he was wrong and changed the way he did things and started putting, you know, legislation into place and all this stuff to address racism and things like that. With a lot of these guys, it's the same thing. They don't want to discuss the race issue because they think that it will just go away once you solve the class issue. And I feel like Piker falls into that category. I like Piker. I listen to him. I have listened to him. I don't regularly, but he has said some things that, you know, I felt were questionable, borderline racist, but I also feel like he's the kind of guy that you could, if he had someone sitting in a room with him, because he does all his streams by himself. If he had
Wow.
someone sitting in a room with him who's like, dude, you can't fucking say that shit, you know, put him in his
Mhm.
place, he probably wouldn't. But I feel like he's that guy. But even then, a lot of times he's an asshole and he's not open to criticism. So, you know, those are some issues I have with him. Otherwise,
So what is it though
policy
that
wise,
he's
he's a
saying or
smart dude.
doing that Democrats are just so like in
The,
lockstep against this guy?
it's like the Mamdani thing, dude. It's, you know, Mamdani wins the primary. He does all the things. But then, you know, establishment Democrats want to get behind Cuomo, who lost the primary, and they want to try to
Yeah.
push the progressive out. What Piker represents are a lot of the views that we share, that our audience shares. You know, he's anti-war. You know, he's anti. You know, he went to Cuba recently with the flotilla and stuff. You know, he's spoken out a lot about that. He's anti-imperialist. You know, I would say I'm not going to say he's an outright racist. I would say that he's just tone deaf about race issues.
Mm.
And you know, he promotes a lot of the right ideas. You know, he's a little left of Bernie Sanders or left of AOC.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he's not the kind of guy who would give, you know, Israel defensive weapon money, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If they're committing a genocide,
Yeah.
you know, he's that type of person. And, you know, universal health care, these things. And, you know, there's plenty to criticize everybody about, but because he's getting so big, because he's making so much noise, and honestly, he's rubbing the, you know, the Lincoln Project, the Bulwark, all the Republicans and Democrats' bases the wrong way. And those are the people that are really trying to push him out. You know, the
Hmm.
Bulwark just did an article about it. The Liberal Project, which has Joe Walsh of all people as an advisor.
You
These
know
are,
something, man. Let me
you know
just
what I
say,
mean? And
I am
it's just
I
you
am
got to be
not
careful
really
who.
trying to get advice from
Right, right,
ex-Republicans or, you know, these people who until Trump just became so over the top unacceptable, they were fine pretty much. I mean, it's not a policy issue with them. He's just embarrassing the shit out of them. But
Right.
Trump is, in living color, all the shit that I always said Republicans were. And, my Republican friends would be like, oh, you're just playing the race card. Oh, well, not anymore, because just here, go look at this guy. And that's, if everything went back, quote unquote, to normal, do we really think the guys at the Bulwark would be like on our side?
No.
Fuck no.
The Reagan
I mean,
Republicans,
I'm
right.
sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for my
But-
salty language, but
Yeah, like I think it was the Liberal Project, which is all mostly libertarians and Republicans. They're just never Trumpers trying to be liberals. They're still
you got the what
They-
is
they-
it? The problem solvers conference
Yeah,
or something
right.
like that. And it's like, well, y'all just sound like Republicans to me. I don't
Yeah, like they tried to.
What's the problem y'all are solving?
They tried to compare Hassan Piker and say he was the same as Nick Fuentes, and I'm like, yeah, now you're showing everybody how unserious you are, and the media picked up on this stuff.
Well, it's just like you hear people refer to the far right, and we know what that includes. It includes Fuentes. It includes all these crazy people that Steve Bannon and so on, right? And then when you look, they try to make it, this equivalent. They try to create these equivalents. If there's a far right, there's got to be something just like it on the other side, just as bad, but the opposite. Well, all they got is like what, AOC and Bernie and the squad. I mean, last time I checked, none of them were trying to overthrow the freaking government.
Right.
I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
It is a weird, and it's got to be the corporate media thing where they have to have a story that fits. And America can't be the country that has got all these racist, law-breaking people on one side. There's got to be some folks on the other side that are just as bad, or the story doesn't work.
Right.
The only problem is there's not. Every time I hear somebody say far left, I ask them what they mean. Even some of my friends, because what Republicans are extremely good at, and just like we were, you respect Iran's game, you got to respect Republicans' game too, because they get on script and they got like 5 freaking things they talk about, and they won't talk about nothing else. And every one of them saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Every one of them. And to the point that they even have Democrats buying their bullshit. I have friends that I've been on the phone and more than once, and we're talking politics, and they'll say something like, well, Democrats got to be careful. They just don't go too far to the left. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And they can never freaking tell me.
Right.
They'll say something like, oh, man, all these trans policies, I just think they're too, and what policies are you talking about?
Right.
They cannot fucking tell me. They just seen so many, so many commercials that get, during like the midterms. Watch and see, it's just going to be a constant feed of like stuff that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Right.
But it just gets up here and yeah, I've asked these guys, and these are not dumb people. I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah. It's something, and you've said it before. Sometimes you just, ask them the basic question and they can't even answer.
They can't.
Right.
And I tell them, look, dude, you're basically repeating a Republican talking point, and you're losing your focus on you over here. You can't even fill your car up now for less than $60. That's what my wife went to Raleigh yesterday, Raleigh and back, $60 to fill a gas tank. I just put $30 worth of gas in my car and barely got to half a tank.
Wow.
And you over here worried about a trans person swimming with somebody. I mean, it's like, what, 5 of those people? and what are you even thinking about that for?
That's how I felt about this whole Hassan Piker debate. Like they were even debating this on CNN, and I'm like, dude, Donald Trump just had us at the brink of what felt like nuclear war, and y'all are arguing over a Twitch streamer. Like, Most people don't even know who this
Don't
guy
even can't
is.
even get. I got a Twitch account, man, and I think like you know, like welcome to Twitch is like the only time I've even. I mean, come on, these people they cannot be this dumb, dude. I mean, look.
I mean, I guess they can.
We also got to talk. There's money behind it too.
Of course,
there's money, and that's at the end of the day what really, what really sort of takes the day.
Yeah, I mean, he's upsetting the duopoly structure. You know what I mean? He's upsetting, one side more than he's actually upsetting both sides, but he's upsetting, feels like one side more than the other. And, like they do with progressives, like in Texas, we've watched Nancy Pelosi do with many progressives, push them out of the way for a centrist, with big money.
I'm not so sure that's going to, I think that game is over. Because I think it is. I mean, I'm not saying that they won't continue to try. Because as long as you've got third way and all those kind of guys, they're sitting up. We got a guy that is threatening genocide, war crimes on the front end.
Right.
Like, you don't do what I say, I'm blowing your country off the face of the earth. And Democrats are over here talking about what? Some guy on Twitch?
Yeah. And that's what's ridiculous to me.
That ain't
and it's they're doing the Trump thing, right? The more they talk about him, the more it seems the more it seems like they're trying to silence him, the more popular he gets. And
dude, I never would have heard of the guy if not for people telling me I shouldn't listen to him.
I started seeing clips of him here and there. I thought, all right, this guy sounds like he knows what's up. Let's see. He was a younger guy. So I was like, let's see what he has to say. I watched a couple of his videos and I thought, all right, he seems to get it, And I kind of take a little bit of pride in knowing that, we see these younger generations knowing these things that we didn't know till later on in life. And I attribute that to us old folks up here, older folks, talking about these systems and exposing these things, and they're learning and picking it up as we go, and they're just getting smarter at a younger age. And I'm all for that. I'm all for it.
I'll tell you, my two youngest kids, my daughter is living here and my son's in college, but I am here to tell you, it was one of the few positives of the COVID era was that, for like what, a year and a half, they were basically homeschooled.
Yeah.
And so they got a crack. I mean, like I was amazed at how much stuff they were not learning at school. I mean, basic civics, didn't know any of it.
Right.
Yeah, like electoral college. I heard of it, but I don't know what it does. That kind of thing. So my kids are so far ahead of where I was at dude, when I was 21. Well, I mean, I'm sure I voted. I know I voted for Jimmy Carter. That was my first vote. But when I was like 21, 22 years old, I didn't know what the hell was going on as far as political stuff.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about any of that, man. And
I wouldn't either.
I'll leave it there. But I was doing a lot of stuff, but it was not learning anything about just governance and all of that stuff. I'm sure I voted like the big elections, for governor or something like that, but my kids are way ahead of me. And I think it's a combination of, just in our household, what I do and so forth.
Right.
But also they're walking around with a computer in their damn pocket.
It's funny because you can ask any one of them the question, and if they can't answer it, hold on, and within like 10 seconds, they they have it, and then they know that thing.
And all you have to do is make sure they have enough, in the way of critical thinking to know, okay, that's probably not true, and this probably is, and and what sources and all that kind of stuff. I think that's where kids get, and I say kids, young adults get tripped up a lot.
Right. Yeah, my kids are way ahead of the curve compared to where I was at that age. And, I see these other, there's that Guy Christensen kid who's on here. I say kid, he's like 22. Man, he just immersed himself in Palestine and, learned all the history and knows all the things. And man, he's really good, like covering the whole Israel Gaza thing. Like, and it's impressive to see, someone that young and have such a huge following. And yeah, knowing his stuff, and people are listening, and he's teaching other people, and like people are just learning things really fast. And like you said, with Trump basically inadvertently pulling the mask off everything, and all these young people learning all these things so fast, I think that, like, decolonization talk and anti-imperialist talk, and I think these are movements that are probably going to build enough momentum that you're not going to be able to stop them. So at some point, Democrats, Republicans, our government, they're going to have to atone for it.
And they may be getting ready to in November, because I just feel like people have just had enough of this shit. All of it. They've had enough of Trump doing every crime, shit we didn't even, I mean, right out of fucking Marvel Comics kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you got Democrats that are sitting here shuffling around like they can't figure out how to go after this guy, or at least, look, we know that Democrats are not in the majority right now, but I don't want to hear them talking about this Piker guy. I don't want to hear them talking about like the third way, about we talked about this maybe a month ago, where they had some conference somewhere and their objective was, we got to stop AOC and we got to stop these progressives. And we got to get rid of all those guys. In my opinion, they all got to go. Because if you're looking at Trump and all you can think about is AOC is the problem,
right?
Get out.
Right.
Get out.
Like
got to go.
There's a whole majority in Congress right now that is a major problem, right? In the Senate and the House. All of them are a much bigger problem than AOC ever will be. So, or Hassan Piker, like, he's not running for office. Who gives a shit what he says? Who cares that he's doing rallies with some, candidates? Who cares? Just let him do it and let the politics play out. That's democracy, right? Why are you trying to sink someone else's campaign?
Well, what are you worried about? What is it that, if he's, because people can decide if he's just an idiot and everything he's saying is stupid, okay, he'll go only so well. He might end up being president. Shit.
Right.
I had to stop myself from saying he's only going to go so far, because evidence would suggest differently. But you know what I mean? It's like, why are you worried about this guy? See, to me, that says more about them than him.
It does. It really does.
You're in the position you're in, and you're worried about a dude on Twitch and what he said, and okay, he's got a couple of million followers, and you're focused on him. Why is he a threat to you?
Yeah, and here, what the funny thing I think about this whole thing is, he sees it and he knows it, right? And he's laughing about it. Hassan Piker is loving this, right? And while they're bashing him, he's probably about to make more money in a shorter period of time than he ever has in his whole career. And
that's the thing, man.
Thank you, Democrats. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead, keep talking shit about me. Like, what? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't get it. Like, this is exactly how they elevated Trump in 2015. When he was not even registering, he was single digits in the primaries. And
so someone posted in the Substack chat something that actually I kind of wanted to talk about this. James Woodruff in the chat just said it's all Streisand effect for him, which is interesting. It's I don't know if people know the story. I'm probably gonna mess this up, but that whole Streisand thing, it's like there was something years ago where something going on with her house or something like that, and Barbara Streisand started talking, and it's almost like if she had just not said anything, nobody would be paying attention to it. And it's that kind of thing, right? And so, that's, I think, definitely Democrats are really good at that, because we're all over the freaking place, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing I like about AOC. You don't see her every day out here, but boy, when she comes, you better get out of the way.
Yeah.
You better get out of the way because she is not
Yeah.
she is not to be trifled with. And
Right.
you know,
There's a few like that. Delia Ramirez is like that.
mhm.
Melanie Ann Stansbury is like that. Most
I
of these
was just
women,
gonna say her. I
yeah,
like her a lot. I
I
like
do
her a
too.
lot.
I do too.
But
Yeah.
it's
I
like
mean,
the Democrats remind me of like you ever seen that movie The Natural? And you got this, it's Robert Redford, man.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know, it's a baseball movie, but
yeah.
and there was a point in time where it's like this guy was so freaking beyond everybody else, right? But the money behind the team was betting on the team losing. And
Right.
so it's like you got a coach and they're not playing their best athletes. That's what the Democrats remind me of, like
Yeah.
this team, and we got these thoroughbred athletes that are really good and great communicators, and you got me where I got to listen to Chuck Schumer all the time,
Oh
trying to
man.
read some shit.
Right.
And you know what? Not to pick on him, Hakeem Jeffries, he's a whole lot more nimble verbally. But
Yeah.
the shit he says just really, it turns me off. Everything's a buzzword and trying to make a rhyme and the big bad bill. You know what? I know it's the big beautiful bill and it's fucked up. I'm just saying big beautiful
Yeah.
bill. The big bad ugly bill.
Yeah. And like
What are we,
this,
5? I mean, I don't need
right.
that.
This war of choice, right? This is the
Oh
new
God,
slogan.
please.
It's
If I
so
hear that one
annoying,
more
right?
time,
And it's
dude,
almost, it's as if to say all the other wars were, they
you
were
know,
needed.
if I hear one more person say that, I'm gonna drop a bomb on somebody. I mean,
right? It's
just ridiculous.
Irritating thing.
I know, and they're
irritating.
all saying it. It's like they just have really bad media people.
Man, I'm
Because
telling
I'm
you.
telling you, dude, Republicans get on something and they all I watch like all the stuff that we all watch, but then I see these same Republicans like on Bloomberg, where this isn't Fox, you can't come in, but dude, they have their message just tweaked just enough where it sounds reasonable
Right.
on like a regular news show.
Right.
We need some new people. They need to hire you or somebody, man.
That's one of the ways, like outlets like Breitbart and stuff, and even now like the Free Press, and this is a strategy Republicans use with their made up media outlets sometimes, is they use wording to get around, the content filters on social media, and they use this softer language. It's the same stuff you see on TV, but it's basically just dog whistles. And the people who hear that stuff know what they're talking about, and they can use more subtle language and that's the.
I'll give you one, man. I've been hearing this. One of my sons used this one. He said something along the lines of, and this was with regard to talking about why Mamdani got elected. All those entitled college students just wanted some free stuff. And I'm like, dude, you ain't even been to college. I can tell you, I went and I was not entitled, right? And you know what I told him? I'm like, you idiot, you need some free stuff. You can't even pay all your bills. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean,
you don't want you don't want a free bus ride. Is that what you're saying? You live in the Bronx or Brooklyn, wherever you live. You're telling me if Mamdani could get you a free bus ride to work, you wouldn't take it.
Yeah, like the question to him would be, what free stuff are they getting?
Really? Nobody's getting. The man had been in office a month. He ain't
right. Like cut him some slack. Like
they were. What are you listening to?
They were
but he's the target. He's the target market. Mid-30s, single guy.
Right. And the thing is they oversimplify things and give you the smooth brain thought about issues, right? And then you're just like, sounds reasonable, and you know what I mean. You don't think any more about it, and then you go around repeating what they said. They just want free stuff. It's like, what free stuff, bro? Like,
really, I'm like, where
to
can
me.
we get some of that free stuff? Because
Yeah.
I'm not. Look, dude, I am not proud. I will take some free stuff.
I mean, if college kids are getting free stuff, I'm going back to college.
I might go ahead and get that degree after all. If all
I might finish mine. Hell. Yeah,
I mean, what are they getting for free? And all these entitled students in college, I'm like, these are the same kids that are getting student loans. They're not, it's not like, what are they? Maybe there's a couple of billionaire kids in college, but come on.
Yeah. I mean,
it totally misses though why this guy got elected.
Yeah.
And we probably could do a whole nother show on that. I mean, it's just but to me, it just underscores how social media, man, it's once the algorithm figures you out, it just starts.
Yeah.
It just starts. And I don't know if it's because I worked a lot with algorithms, running a trading desk and stuff, but you have to train the algorithm or the algorithm will train you.
Right.
You just do, man. And like my feed, this son of mine who probably, well, first of all, he doesn't watch my stuff, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, I hope not.
He doesn't watch my stuff,
man, bro.
But no, dude, he's a grown man. You know what? We all own our decisions. But it's like, on occasion, he'll send me something, and it's like, oh, Joe Rogan type stuff. Some guy saying some stuff that's totally wrong. It was right after the attack on Iran. Some guy saying, oh, that school, that's fake. Okay, we know it isn't. But it's like, he said to me, this keeps showing up in my feed. And I'm like, dude, it's showing up in your feed because that's what you like. All Instagram does is give you what you tell it you like.
Right.
And then it just goes like to the nth degree, where it starts off at point A and by point Z, it's like extremely crazy stuff, but it's still within that range of things that you have convinced Instagram that you're down with.
Yeah, there was a bunch of politicians a few years ago who were posting on Twitter about how when they get on TikTok, all they see is young girls in skimpy clothes. I'm like, you just outed yourself,
it's
dude.
Just giving you what you want, man. I hate to tell you.
They got roasted hard.
Totally outed yourself. I saw one, the guy's like, all I see are women with, big behinds. And I'm like, don't blame the internet.
Yeah, right.
This is what you've told it you prefer to see.
Just admit you like big booties, man. Get over it.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. I get it.
Right.
But no, I mean, it's like, but that underscores the team that we got doesn't understand the game that is being played. They think the algorithm is targeting them. Well, it's just, you said you wanted a blue suit. It's just offering you a blue suit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed this on Threads in particular. I started posting a lot about Cuba, right? And, all of a sudden my stuff's getting throttled. I'm not getting any views. But I noticed in my feed, there were all this posts about Cuba that I didn't care about, like the, hardliner, Miami type Cubans. I don't want to see what they have to say.
Right.
So I'm like, just because I've been posting about Cuba, now I'm seeing all their garbage. So I'm always hitting the not interested, try to tell the algorithm, keep that shit away from here. So yeah, it's just, you have to train algorithms, and you also have to curate, who you follow and who you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like if somebody follows me on social media and like, they want to follow back or something, or maybe we interacted or something, I'm looking at their account, seeing what they're saying. Like I may not want to be. Yeah, I may not want to be associated with this person.
Well, whenever somebody sends me something, like, I talk about my son, and, don't get it twisted. He's my boy. I love him,
right.
And hopefully I'll be able to, pull him back over to the right side or the left side, as it were. But, it's like, no, it's just like, okay, you sent me this post from Instagram. First thing I'm going to do is look at the dude's bio.
You're right.
That's the first thing I'm going to
Yeah.
do. But it's
Yeah.
like the last thing he does.
Oh,
He thinks, I don't know, man. It's just, and I don't think he's unique. I just think
right.
that people get on social media and whatever it shows them, they just kind of accept it. Dude, I get rid of so much stuff out of my even on Substack, and it
But
doesn't
wait.
run.
Isn't
What's
that
that?
what these young people keep giving boomers crap about? About falling for stuff on the internet?
Well.
I'm
Yeah,
not a boomer, but look, I'll
I
defend
am,
y'all
and I am
on
glad
this
you
one.
brought that up because
I will defend y'all on this one.
you listen. Now, I mean, I got a son that's working on an engineering degree. I will never try to outdo him on anything to do with a computer. But this kind of stuff, this is garden variety algorithm stuff. And it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's just if then that. If
Yeah.
guy likes blue suit, guess what? Every other post is going to be somebody with a
Right.
blue suit for sale, you know?
Yep. Right. Exactly.
Oh man, I am so glad that we're able to laugh our way through this because it is so freaking sad. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and I and both of us, we've talked about Iran, and I have respect. I have respect for any country that just doesn't get, uh, America. There's no. Here's what we know: nobody is going to fuck with America when it comes to who can bomb the most and who's
Right.
got the most, military power. But I think a long-term result of what's happened, the entire world has seen us go at somebody like we're going to put them in line.
Right.
And here we are a month and a half later. And they're like, to me, if you just, put it down on paper, I think they got some buildings blown up, but shit. if they are allowed to make money on the Strait of Hormuz, they'll make $100 billion a year, dude.
Yeah.
That'll pay for a whole lot of reconstruction.
And that's what they
Right.
said the money would be for. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, are they not owed something?
They are.
I mean, look, I won't say I could care less. I mean, I'm just saying I'm not on Iran's side. I'm on the side of what's right.
Right.
We have gone in and, for some made up reason, just bombed the shit out of a country for a month. And now it's obvious that we can't win in in the sense that the way Trump likes to describe when we cannot win.
Right.
So now we're trying to get out of it. And that's what this little dance is. But folks need to understand, we have taken something that was free. The Strait of Hormuz was free. And now I don't know if it'll ever be free again.
It won't.
I don't think it ever will.
For a long time, that's for
For
sure.
the foreseeable future, because Iran did this. They did this before in the 80s, and I've mentioned it. But everybody knew. It's literally like the thing that they have, that's their card that they can throw, and everybody for the last 50 years has known this.
Right.
I mean, did nobody at the table say, hey, so why hadn't anybody else done this? No, because their country is situated around the major choke point of everything in the global economy. It's not just oil. And how about this for the other side? Okay, let's say they got to. Are you going to be the first ship to come into the Persian Gulf, knowing that you might not get back out?
No.
I mean, who is going to be the brave group of folks that roll up in an oil tanker or a tanker full of I don't know what, a fertilizer, whatever it might be, barley, corn, all this stuff goes into the Persian Gulf because they can't grow any food like that. I would not be the captain of the first ship.
Right.
So this is destabilized just international trade. I'm telling you, man, this is a year from now, we'll be still talking about this.
Right. And I think we're going to be talking about the destabilization of Latin America on top of it. And it's just going to have a compounding effect on us economically. There's already a lot of destabilizing things going on in Ecuador along the border with Colombia and things like that. And it's starting to get ugly now. They're talking about sending troops down there and all this other stuff. And honestly, I don't know why they're talking about sending troops to Ecuador, because our troops are in Ecuador already. So it's just, this whole destabilization situation and none of this stuff was thought out, obviously, right? They thought there was going to be.
But this is a classic case of, too much testosterone in one room and, believing their own bullshit. They just talk themselves into this. And I don't know if you've read this story in the New York Times where I'll put a gift link in on Substack after we're done, but where they're talking about when Bibi Netanyahu came in and I guess made his pitch, and it's in the Situation Room. And Trump didn't sit at the head of the table. He sat off on one side and Bibi was on the other side, like they're equals. And I'm telling you, well, I guess you got to do what your money tells you to do, because I really believe there is an enormous amount of money that has flowed from MBS in Saudi Arabia and Bibi Netanyahu. He's a crook anyway. We already know the guy. If he wasn't doing this, he'd be peeling potatoes in jail somewhere. This guy's a crook. So we don't know how much money Trump's been paid.
Yeah, and we don't know the kind of dirt Netanyahu has on him.
Well, there's that. But now think about it. When he was running this time, remember, he got a whole bunch of oil guys in the room and said, if y'all give me $1 billion, I'll give you whatever you want. Trump did this. Yeah. Maybe folks want, folks have paid and they want to get whatever they paid for.
Yeah.
But the only problem is nobody asked Iran.
Right.
Because Iran has a vote too. That's just like everybody talking about the war being over, and Iran gets to decide when this is over.
Right. So they're holding all the cards right now.
They are. They really are. Sad to say. It's an embarrassment for America, and it's probably going to take us a generation to, if ever. Now he's mad at NATO.
Yeah, it's NATO's fault.
Like, hang on a second. So you launched a war, and look up and here Russia and China are helping the people you're fighting. Russia even more maybe than China. I heard China was sort of in the background, basically trying to get a settlement, but staying out of the scene. So, but you got Russia helping Iran with logistical support, and you're mad at NATO because they wouldn't come help you clean your mess up.
Yeah,
it's something else, man.
It's that thing where none of them will accept any kind of accountability for their actions. Nope. And there's always somebody to blame. And with Trump, he's going to blame someone else. He pointed at Hegseth, like, "Oh, you're the one who said it was a good idea. We're going to do this.
You're fired."
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hang on. He'll tell somebody else to fire him because he just ain't got it.
Yeah, he won't. Yeah.
Well, man, here we are. We've come to the end of another hour of a show with no name. Isn't that lazy? We're just some guys that wanted to just get on the internet and talk to each other, and we just needed an excuse. That's all. Folks, I hope that we've if not put a smile on your face, at least maybe talked about some things, and maybe you learn a little bit, and how we think about stuff. I think, and I won't take the credit. Arturo's a whole lot smarter about this stuff than I am. I'm just a guy with some headphones. I just needed to use this stuff, man.
Yeah, right. Got it. Might as well use it.
Well, that's what my wife said. You got all that stuff. You better get on there and make up a show. I don't know what you're going to call it, but how about a
That's
show with
funny.
no name?
There you go.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know if it's related to just all the pressure of everything going on, but my brain, I've been clowning all day. I think it's a mechanism. I'm trying to, like, my brain is trying to keep me from going out here doing something crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Coping.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. Yeah, but tears of a clown. I'm laughing,
There you go.
but on the inside, I'm crying.
That's it.
Yeah, boy, I'm
Oh,
telling you,
shit.
I am crying on the inside over this country because
Yeah.
it's man, and I know we got to wrap it up. Look, and folks, if this is the kind of thing that gives you a little bit of a break and informs, and you want to support our work, obviously, we hope you subscribe to both of our newsletters. And if you're able to, and look, we've talked about gas and everything is more expensive, but I guess the good news is I'm still charging the same thing for a subscription. So there's no inflation here. And if you can, if you're inclined to support what we do, we would certainly appreciate it.
Yep. Absolutely.
But in the meantime, mark your calendars. We do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, a show with no name. And I'm Marlon Weems.
I'm Arturo Dominguez.
And we will see you folks on the other side. Take care.
Bye, y'all.